Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time you are watching this, y'all know the vibes. We back for the reacts. It's your boy Robbie. What's going on with y'all, man? So this one is going to be coming from Poetic Flacco. The Nolan Wells situation just got even more horrifying. I'm just now learning about this situation with Nolan Wells today, actually. Apparently he went out on a boat trip with a few of his Caucasian friends and never to return. Yeah, it has now got people speculating, asking questions, and have reason to believe that his friends may have something to do behind this. And so, yeah, let's not waste no time, man. Let's get to the story. Let's go.
This Nolan Wells situation is terrifying. They really murdered that boy. And they're going to get away with it, unfortunately, for everybody involved. And it should piss off a lot of us. I don't see enough people angry at this situation that there should be. And the reason why so many people resonate with this Nolan Wells story is because Nolan Wells is like the average 18-year-old kid, grew up in a two-parent household in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, a regular neighborhood, nothing spectacular. He played football in high school, was good enough at football in high school, to now he's playing football at a community college. If you take away the name Nolan Wells and just put those facts on paper, a lot of us probably won't be able to distinguish between his life story and the life story of our nephew, our cousin, our brother. We all know somebody who lived the exact same life as Nolan Wells, all right? Regular kid, played sports in high school, made it to community college. Nothing spectacular, just the average kid, which is why his story has a lot of people distraught, because a lot of people see themselves in Nolan Wells. They see their family member in Nolan Wells. They look at Nolan Wells in his story and they say, this could happen to me and my family. So a couple of days ago, like most kids his age from that area, he hopped on a boat with a couple of his homies to go celebrate July 4th off coast. Nolan gathered and rode on the same boat as his homies Eric, Wyatt, and Warren, and they rowed their boat to this island called Horn Island, which is like 10 to 12 miles off coast from mainland in Ocean Springs. When they got to Horn Island, his best friend Javon was on the island and Nolan checked in with him. Now, Javon would have rowed on the same boat as Nolan. That was the plan, but Nolan's boat got full and didn't really have any space. So Javon just rowed with some other people and they all got to the island together. Once he got done talking to Javon, who apparently is his best friend, he then went back to hanging out with the people he went to the island with, even meeting up with this girl called Katie McCormick that he really liked, who was also on the island.
Here we go, man. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out early, and I'm gonna need people who may not be African American to truly understand where I'm coming from, okay? For me growing up, I didn't have any Caucasian friends for real. I had maybe one Caucasian friend. His name was John, and he lived on the basement level of my grandmother's apartment. I think his mom, she had passed away while he was young. We went to Catholic school together, and we was friends with them. You know, him and his father and them, they moved, and so we lost touch. I haven't seen him since then. But from there, all of my dealings with having friends and just dealing with people have always been people of my culture, of my race. Now, when I got to high school, I went to a multicultural high school. You had Caucasians, you had black people there, you had, well, African-American people there, Afro-American, you had Indians, Chinese, you had people from all walks of life going there. And we, for the most part, didn't have no issues. There was no racism and stuff like that going on in my high school. They wasn't tolerating any of that. But even with that, I pretty much kept to, you know, people kept to my kind for the most part. Which, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think anybody should be talked down upon. But I think this here is going to continue to explain it further. And then I'm going to just chime in and I'll pretty much go further into it. But yeah, let's keep going.
They was talking throughout the day. Eventually, when the festivities died down, the people he came with, Wyatt, Warren, Eric, they all went home. Katie went home. Javon went home. But Nolan did not go home. Nolan was nowhere to be found. And his parents were on social media begging for answers. Every one of the individuals that Nolan had contact with on 4th of July on Horns Island had left the island at earliest 3 p.m., at latest 4 p.m., But Nolan mom made a status at 9:55 p.m. on July 4th, alerting the public that her son still hadn't come home yet from Horns Island and that he was missing. So she posted, "Please be on the lookout for Nolan. Last seen was west tip north side of Horn Island today around 3 p.m. wearing blue shorts and sunglasses. It's unclear if he made it back on land. Please message me if you've seen him or have information about his whereabouts at or after 4 p.m. At 4 a.m. the next day, the mama made another status where she says, "There's no updates. Nolan is still missing. Please, if you're a praying person, please pray he is found alive, safe, and unharmed." At 6:46,
You know, man, I would imagine that that has to be a horrifying feeling of your son is missing and I'm somebody's son. I have my mother, my father, my grandmother, my aunt, like, you know, I would imagine that, and I even have a son. I would imagine that that has to be a horrifying experience. You know what I mean? Because in the back of your mind, you might, it's like having to accept the inevitable that he may actually be gone. He might not be here anymore. But just feeling like, okay, maybe there is some glimmer of hope. But the fact that you haven't heard from him or anything like that, nobody has any answers. The friends that he was with can't give you no information. It's like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make no sense.
a.m., she made another post. "Nolan has not been found. His father and I have his cell phone. So for friends who are seeing his location, is because we have it. Katie has contacted me. We are currently at Horn Island. We're looking for any information other than what we already know. Please personal message me if you have any additional information." Another post was made at 8:14 a.m. "If you have any information, please, please, please let us know." Another post was made at 9:10 a.m. "Please send any information if you've seen him." Another post was made at 9:45 a.m. "Nolan has not been found. So whomever is spreading the rumor he is home, that is not true." Another post was made at 10:29 a.m. "I'm asking for any video or photos from yesterday from Horn/Ship Island that may have Nolan in them. Also, I appreciate all the love and support. We are a bit overwhelmed. Please personal message me only if you have details about yesterday or if it's news outlet." When the family announced the search efforts for Nolan, Katie, the girl that Nolan was talking to on the island, she reached out to the family. She apparently was cooperative and told them everything that she knew. She went to the island with the family to help look for Nolan. But the same level of cooperation and concern they received.
This one down here at the bottom, Warren, like he just looks like a he looks like a dweeb, you know, respect. And I mean, I'm sure he's probably cool, but just off optics, yo, he wouldn't be somebody I would be hanging with. I'm sorry.
From Katie can't be said for Nolan friends that he rode on the boat with to the island, like Wyatt, Warren, and Eric, because they were allegedly out to eat the next day while everybody was outside looking for Nolan. And when they were approached and asked why they weren't out looking for Nolan, they were out here eating with no care in the world, according to one of Nolan's friends, their answer was really sketchy and really bothersome.
They wouldn't give his phone back to his parents, and they were seen eating out the next day.
Wow.
And when somebody asked them, like, "Hey, why aren't you out looking for your friend?" they said, "Y'all already think we did it."
If that conversation actually happened, if that's true, the reason why
Well, wouldn't you be trying to go out here and clear your name if you didn't do it? So just off the rip, that makes you suspect number one, potential suspect number one. The fact that you would even say something like that. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel good to be in that seat. Whenever a black child, teenager, adult ends up, unalived or missing, y'all are the first to blame a lot of the time, because we've seen this throughout history. You know what I mean? And see, this is the type of stuff here, and this, like I said, this is probably going to be one of them controversial videos, but I really don't care, because unless you are African American, you cannot relate to me or anybody like me in my situation and the lens that we have to look through and the way we have to carry ourselves. So this is not something that you can legitimately speak on. All you need to do is just listen. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that. With this situation here, you know, when you go out here and you do something to people and you have historically been known to do this type of stuff, this is the type of energy that is going to come of that. And it just makes me just say to myself, it is so hard for us as African American people, Afro American, whatever you want to call us. It is so hard to try to just exist. You know what I mean? Like, think about that for a second. Just the ability to exist on planet Earth while you got other entities out here trying to sabotage any and everything you do, even going as far as to trying to take the life that you were given away from you, had no say so whatsoever in you getting here, but are going to take it upon themselves to take away a life that was gifted to you. You were gifted life, and someone decided to take that from you. You were gifted that from God. You know what I'm saying? And this is why you can't really feel bad. It's like when you see what's going on out here in the world, the planet is heating up. I tell anybody in a heartbeat, yeah, you might have a lot of money, you might be rich, but if there's one thing I can say that you don't have this. There's no amount of money that you can give me that would make me give this up. Because this right here is my safety net. This is my barrier, meaning I can go outside and let that sun supercharge me up. A lot of people can't say the same thing. You can't say that. You know what I mean? So I am truly grateful. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's continue because I'm rambling now. Let's keep going.
That would be considered suspicious and bothersome is because this is the day after. This is July 5th. Everybody is outside looking for Nolan. Right now, he's being considered missing. His whereabouts is unknown. And according to the family, nobody knows where he is. But if the response is y'all already suspect us of doing it, well, doing what exactly? Doing what exactly? Because as far as everybody knows, he's just missing. But that reaction and that reply would insinuate something tragic took place. Now, the reason why Nolan's family and friends were allegedly suspicious of the friends he rode on the boat with, like Eric, Wyatt, and Warren, is because they have possession of Nolan's phone. Nolan is nowhere to be found. Nolan is nowhere to be seen. However, you guys have his phone, but yet you guys are saying y'all have no idea where he is. Approximately 2 days after Nolan Wells went missing, his mother showed up to Facebook on July 6, 12:43 p.m. and wrote a status announcing that Nolan Wells' body had been found, and unfortunately, he'd been found deceased. She wrote, "I want to thank our family, friends, community, United Cajun Navy, local law enforcement, and everyone involved for all the love, support, resources over the last few days. His father, Elmore Wansley, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated. My heart is broken for our sweet son, who was always willing to cheer and uplift others. Nolan was a special soul. God took his time creating our son. I ask that you all please give me and my family privacy as we grieve. Thank you all again. God bless." When the news that Nolan Wells' body had been found and he was found deceased, chaos ensued. See, it was devastating news, obviously, for the family, but it was also devastating to people outside the family, people on social media who didn't know Nolan Wells personally, but they were pretty invested and committed to finding out what happened to him. And when it was found out that this kid was found dead, a lot of questions surfaced, a lot.
Breaking news, a body has been found on Horn Island near where missing 18-year-old Nolan Wells went missing. Search crews like this one you see here in the air have been searching for him for more than 40 hours now. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brandy McGill. Will Polston has been on the scene at a command post in Jackson County all morning as they search, and he now joins us live. Good morning to you, Will.
Hey, good morning, Brandy. We got word here just at about 8:45 that there was a body found on Horn Island, and the officials are now working on bringing that back. Now, as of right now, we do not have an identity of the body that was found, but I can confirm that Nolan Wells' family is here at the Lake Mars boat launch. Now, they've asked us not to show the camera in that direction right now of the family grieving. There is quite a bit of family and friends here from Nolan's family, but like I said, we do not have identity as of right now. Sheriff Ledbetter did confirm that a park ranger ended up finding the body that was found, and the coroner was here earlier and has since left. They left right at about 10 o'clock, just after 10 a.m., waiting on getting official confirmation on the identity, cause of death, and everything else in between.
Because as soon as a body was found, as soon as Nolan Wells' body got found, the people he had contact with lawyered up. His homies, who he thought were his homies, who he rode on the boat to the island with, Wyatt, Warren, Eric, they lawyered up. Now they told the family, hey, listen, we don't know what happened. Because everybody he had contact with passed the buck to each other. The people on the boat said, hey, we told him we were leaving. He said he was going to stay by and catch a ride somewhere else. We didn't ask nothing of it. We left. His best friend, Javon, said, yo, when I seen him, he was talking to Katie. He said he was going to catch a ride with Katie. Katie said, look, we talked, but he said he was leaving with his friends. I said, okay, and didn't question it. So everybody is passing the buck to each other. They passed the buck to Javon.
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, all of their asses has something to do with it. Katie, Javon, Eric, Warren, the other dude, all of them had something to do with this young man losing his life at 18 years old. And what's so sad is that we will never know what he would have done in life, what he could have accomplished, what changes he could have made to help better the world, to make things better for people. We would never know. So many people in this world have lost their lives for no reason, recklessly, by the hands of somebody else who went on to do nothing to better the world. But these people had to lose their life, and we don't know what they could have done. You know what I mean? It's really stupid.
Javon passed the buck to Katie. Katie passed the buck to Wyatt, Warren, and Eric and the friends on the boat. But after the friends gave the initial statement, Wyatt, Warren, and Eric, after they gave their initial statement, they now went quiet. They lawyered up, deactivated their pages, and had nothing more to say. The dudes that Nolan rode on a boat with, they claimed they were in a rush and in a hurry to leave the island and get out the water because their boat was experiencing malfunction. The boat was receiving water. They thought they had to get out the water as fast as possible or else they would be stranded. So they told Nolan it's time to go. Nolan said he's not leaving, and he stayed.
Real quick, too, I know I'm stopping the video, but, you know, we got to react. This is going to be directed to, you know, any of my Caucasian viewership. Now, with this situation here, would anybody who is African-American, Afro-American be wrong for not wanting to associate or befriend any of you? And I say that respectfully because it always seems to be in these type of scenarios where you got that one token black guy who's got, you know, white male friends, and then these situations happen and nobody has an answer to it. Same situation with the girl Ashley Journey, if I'm saying her name right, from a couple months ago. What happened to that story? She goes over to Africa with her husband, her fiance or whatever, and never returned home alive. What happened with that? This is what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, would we be wrong for not wanting to even be affiliated with y'all at this point? Because we try to coexist, and it's always something. There's some mechanism in y'all's brain that is just not there, and I don't know what it is. And like I said, you got to understand where I'm coming from. It may seem offensive, but you got to understand the lens that I'm looking through. You didn't go through what my people necessarily went through. And yeah, they'll say, oh, well, you didn't go through anything. You didn't. No, I didn't necessarily, but the blood that runs through me, okay, came from people who did go through this. You feel me? Like I can say what I should. My grandfather on my father's side and his father's father, they were all from Bamberg, South Carolina. Okay, that's where my roots stem from in a sense. And yes, my great grandmother, Lizzie Free, that was her last name. She most likely, her mother was a slave and her father. And I want to say my great great grandfather, Paul, his father was a slave. So I come from a descendant of slaves. I've seen the birth marriage certificates from the early 1900s. I've seen it. So yeah, I have every right to, say what I'm saying because I come from that. It's in my blood. It happened to me and my family. So yeah.
However, they still had Nolan's phone. So Nolan didn't realize, oh, damn, bro, you guys have my phone. Give me my phone before you guys leave. It sounds like y'all was leaving in a hurry and Nolan had no idea, to be honest. But they also failed to mention that an altercation took place. Now, there's like very grainy video of the altercation that took place online that doesn't really tell us much, but it does show Nolan getting into some type of like verbal, hostile back and forth.
So what exactly happened from you guys' side?
From our side, there was an altercation with a different boat, which had other kids on it, black kids, and there was an altercation. There was a fight, something happened, and they went back to their respected boats or whatever. And when his best friend was on the other boat, so when he went to go like check up on Nolan and everything after the fight, Nolan's boat was gone, but they had stayed for a couple more hours. And so when they got back to land, they had his phone. So Nolan didn't even have his phone. The phone was at one of the boys' houses, and they didn't want to give it to his parents, and they had to send somebody to go get the phone from his.
Whoa. How you gonna sit up here and say you don't want to give somebody's child's phone to them? Who are you? See, this again is that fucking feeling that privilege. Like, no, you can't have his phone. Like, what? And these are the type of things that I try not to even like react to on this channel because it just gets me angry. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, being an Afro-American child, being an African-American, a black boy, whatever, when you are in your mother's belly, you have no fucking idea what is waiting for you out here. You have no fond of any type of clue, if that's even a proper phrase, the proper way to phrase it. You have no idea of all the things, the horrific things that have happened to people who look like you, your descendants. You're a descendant of, your ancestors. You have no idea what they went through. And then you get out here and you think that, okay, everybody, other human beings you don't see. And you have to then grow up and realize that, no, we are all not the same. They're not like us and we are not like them. They're different than us. You feel me? And because we are different, it causes friction. It causes tension. It causes chaos. And see, the problem is that we as black people, African-American people, we are living in a society that we didn't directly have a hand in creating. I've said this in some of my other videos. We are just going along with this shit. We didn't have any say in terms of if we should have credit, if we should use fiat notes, if we should be raising the debt ceiling and buying stocks and shares to justify having money. At the end of the day, none of that shit is going to matter. Like I said earlier in this video, this right here, this is worth more than gold, more than any fiat note, because this is going to guarantee my survival on this planet. That sun that's going to be up in a couple of hours is going to give me my skin the nutrients that it needs, the recharging that it needs, so that I can go out here and do whatever it is that I need to do. I wouldn't trade that for the world. And see, I really truly think that there are people on this planet, that aren't necessarily black, that don't have any, that aren't as melanated, that are jealous or maybe feel some type of way because they don't have what we have. And so they have to hide behind it with the likes of credit cards and cars and mansions and stocks and, you know, hedge funds and corporations and all of this superficial shit that's not going to matter in the long run, because all of this is going to go up in smoke and it's not going to matter. That's what you have to use to justify your being here or your existence or who you are as a person. We never needed that. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm going on a rant, y'all, but I get really passionate about this type of stuff. So y'all got to bear with me. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we're going to talk about it. Let's keep going.
His house. That's why, like, when we checked his location, everybody was like thinking that it wasn't serious because we saw his location. It said he was in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, like at his house. But they wouldn't give his phone back to his parents. But the story that they keep trying to push out to everybody is that the boat was sinking and taking on water, and they were telling Nolan that he needed to get on the boat, but Nolan wanted to stay back with a girl that he never met, which he wouldn't have done, because if that was like, we're all from the same surrounding areas, she goes to Moss Point, which is like 20 minutes away. Why could you not hang out on land when you got back?
If the boat that you came in was sinking and you knew that.
And so that was like the crazy thing, is that they're talking about, oh, the boat was sinking, and he didn't want to get on the boat.
This is how you know this is just a bogus ass lie. But you see, when you do something and you don't already have the lie cooked up, see, when you lie, a lie just begets another lie. And so when you do stuff like that, you have to constantly do that, and it just unfoils right in front of your face, because the truth ultimately is going to come out. Y'all basically unalived that young man, and probably for no reason, maybe for your own selfish tendencies. Who knows? Maybe somebody talked you into doing it, but you are not going to make me believe that he just didn't want to go back. He wanted to stay behind with a girl he didn't know, and the boat was sinking. He was 18 years old. I'm sure he had enough cognitive skills and enough enough wherewithal. That's the word I want to say. Sorry, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. Enough wherewithal to know that I need to get back where I need to be if my boat is sinking. Nothing about that story sounds believable. It's all a cockamamie bullshit as far as I'm concerned.
And the boat had to get towed back. But if that was the case and he said he wanted to stay there, why did you take his phone back and not leave him?
That part. Why would you take his phone? That's the part that everybody is what we need to really be discussing. Why would you take his phone? Explain that. Why wouldn't you leave him with his form of communication? Everybody has to have a phone in order to communicate, so he can talk to his mother, talk to his father, so that he can be in touch with them. No, that's because y'all by that point had already unalived him, and you wanted to try to delete whatever evidence might be in his phone if you had any way of getting into it. Like
an island without a way to get home.
The only people who truly know what happened to Nolan is Nolan and the people involved. But if Nolan was my friend, if I was somebody who was on the boat, now I don't think they left that island without Nolan's body. That's just me though, right? But I'm gonna say this, if my friend was missing and I left him behind and there was rumors that something bad happened to him, wouldn't the first thing I tell the family and the police, yo, he was in an altercation with this group of people and this group and this group and this group? The only way I wouldn't tell them folks about the altercation is if the altercation was with me and my group. If it was me and my group of friends that he was arguing with, if we all got into a heated altercation, even if I'm quote unquote innocent, I probably wouldn't tell him because I don't want him to think that something nefarious is going on. And if something nefarious did go on, I damn sure wouldn't tell him that, hey, by the way, just so you guys know, before he went missing, he was arguing with us. We got into a really, 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 really heated altercation. And that led to what exactly? Oh, no. Oh, nothing. We squashed it and then we left and we just happened to leave him and take his phone with us. Excuse me, you had his phone? Now, even what they did with the boat is suspicious. The boat is probably the single most important and crucial piece of evidence in this entire case. You know what they did with the boat? Take a listen.
But in the videos that you can see, obviously the fight was loud enough and big enough to cause all the other surrounding boats to pay attention, and that be the main focus of what everybody was seeing at the time.
And Alexis, I do want to ask you something else. How long were they friends?
They've been friends for a minute. I mean, these people have gone to school together since elementary school.
Yes, and I want to ask another question from the chat. Dark Chocolate said, my thing is, why did the boat really have to get towed back, and was his BODY on it?
There is some speculation, like this is just like hearsay, that the boat was owned by this dude Wyatt, but when the boat got brought back, it was parked at Warren's house, which is his mom is the judge or whatever. And somebody said they drove by like later that night and like they were cleaning out the boat. Like it was like dark night, not like regular time when you would clean out a boat. It was like later at night. And then there was a girl on the boat that's not in any of the pictures or wasn't the girl that he was talking to. And when she got back on land, she turned off like her Snap location, but her best friend still had her location on Find My iPhone. And she was at, all of them were at one house for like 4 hours.
They were kids. They could have been partying at the house for 4 hours after leaving Horn Island. But I don't know, bruh. All right. Why wouldn't you take the boat back to your crib? Why would you bring it to the judge crib? It sounded like, hey, mom, we got ourselves in a pickle. We need your help with something. We need your help to figure out what to do here. Now, again, this is speculative. This is just day one. We're going to do a much deeper dive into this case once more information comes out. But things ain't looking right. Now, the judge, who apparently is she's the mom of Warren. Now, apparently that judge deactivated all of her pages too. Now, everybody is secretive. The kid dies, everybody lawyers up, don't got nothing to say.
Of course.
Right? Refuse to say certain things like, hey, he got into an altercation with some people. Probably look at that group of people. But you wouldn't say look at that group of people if you were the group of people. Because It would be easy to say, yo, listen, we left, bro. But bro was still there after getting into an altercation with some folks. Look into them.
Because you know for good and damn well that if you try to pinpoint somebody else or put that on another group of people, they're going to come for your head. And they ain't going to hesitate to say, no, we had nothing to do with that. We might have had a few words, but it didn't escalate to him missing. Y'all had everything to do with that. And again, you know, this right here and all the other situations that have occurred, again, is just all the more reason why for somebody like me or people like, it's like, we cannot trust y'all, man. Y'all cannot be trusted. None of you. Yeah, we can have conversations all day long about this world that y'all effed up. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't want to have nothing to do with y'all because this is the type of stuff that you do. And we have to sit up here and try to coexist in this artificial world that y'all have created where you have to have clothes and cars and money and all this superficial shit just to feel like you're somebody. When I'm a human being first. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to go outside and get food off a tree if I want to. Why do I have to pay a fee for food? Why do I have to pay for water? This is some cockamamie shit y'all came up with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just stupid.
Some folks, they probably did something to him. Which is why also too though, like I could already tell, man, they not really boys, bro. Like they're not really homies. Think about it for a second, okay? You and your homie go out. Let's just say, I don't know, y'all go out to a party, man. Your friend get into an altercation with a group of dudes at that party. Are you leaving that party without your friend? Are you letting your friend tell you, hey, bro, I just got into an altercation with this group of people. Now, my only homies I came with, they about to leave me, and I'm about to be at this party by myself, when there's hostility and resentment with a group of guys and I got no backup. Does that even sound right? Clearly not. Now, the judge, she decided to respond back to her son's suspicion and potentially being involved in this case, as well as why she deactivated her page. Now, I'm gonna say this, bruh. The Sheriff County came out and said that they didn't find any crimes involving this Nolan Wells case. But the autopsy ain't even come back yet, bruh. The autopsy ain't even come. The sheriff who's investigating a possible murder involving the judge's son came back and said, we ain't find no crimes have been committed without the autopsy even coming back yet. Think about it for a second. You think justice is like gonna get served in this case? Clearly not. Now, the judge.
This is just going to be one of those ones that just gets swept under the rug. This is going to be one of those, unfortunate situations where this young man is not here to speak for himself, like the many of other people in the past, like Ashley from a couple months ago, who, like I said earlier in the video, went on vacation with her fiance, her Caucasian fiance, and never came back home alive. You know what I'm saying? And there's many others. All these black kids all around these southern states in America popping up, being, on a noose, hung themselves. Yeah, it's like, where's all of this coming from? Not where's all of it coming from, but it's typical at this point. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, as much as us as black people, deep down in our soul of soul, really probably don't want to have nothing to do with anybody that doesn't look like us, they will not let up without a fight, because they need you more than you need them, honestly. They need you for their record labels. They need you for their sporting events, their teams. They need you for their movies. They need you for your labor. They need you. They need you for your slang, your style, everything. Because all of this technology shit, and even with that, if you go do your history, a lot of this stuff we created. Unbeknownst to a lot of these people, we were the founders of a lot of this stuff that people are using today, but they won't give us our credit for that. They won't give our ancestors credit for that. But they need you. And so if you think for 1 second we're about to be allowed to just pack up all of our stuff as black people, I'm not just talking about the ones that work a 9 to 5, I'm talking about the athletes, everybody. We all just came together and said, look, we're leaving all of these sports athletes that got all of this money, millions of dollars, because that would make you wonder to yourself, these sports athletes and these musicians that supposedly got all of this money have enough money to basically move all of the black people in this country out of here. If we have a buying power that's in the trillions, according to what's on paper, why the fuck are we still here? You know why? Because they've already got a plan in place in case we think we're going to get some shit like that accomplished. It's like, just when you think, oh, we're all about to leave, guess again. Now they done implemented this, and now you can't leave. You know what I'm saying? It's like a sick obsession. You know what I mean? I know I'm rambling. I got to get through this video because we already at 38 minutes. Let's let this rock out.
Judge put out a statement, and here's what the judge had to say. Judge Ashley Cole, who apparently has a despicable track record, like despicable, like things like telling like this black woman that the baby dad cannot meet her at the police station to drop off the kid, and that she ended up getting murdered, or somebody else lost their kid. She tells the person they can't grieve online. This lady has a despicable track record. She goes, our family, along with the community, grieve the loss of Nolan Wells. Our thoughts and prayers are with Nolan's family. Our son, Warren, loved Nolan dearly. Unfortunately, I feel that it is appropriate for our family to dispel some rumors with facts based upon the social media attention that is being diverted away from the Wells family and their loss, okay? So you don't think it's necessary to talk to the police, to talk to the family. Right. So they go, yes, I deactivated my Facebook given the very heightened emotional state of social media. Right now, I fear for the safety of my child and my children. My husband and I have 6 children, and we covet their privacy. We do not believe it is appropriate for our minor children's photographs to be circulated through the internet, presenting potential threats to their safety. I graduated high school with, again, Nolan's mom, Kristen Wells. We are from the same community. I have the utmost respect for her and all of the Wells family. We mourn the loss of Nolan with them. Our prayers have been and will continue to be with them. My husband and I were not at Horns Island at any point on 4th of July. What's the price of tea in China? What does this have to do with anything? We know you weren't there, right? But your son was there. No one in our family is trying in any way to impede with the investigation by law enforcement or to otherwise hamper the family and law enforcement quest for an answer. Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taken on water and they had an issue with the He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taken on water and they had an issue with the... What? So hold on, bruh. So the homie you went there with, y'all told us that y'all asked Nolan, hey, Nolan, we about to leave, bro. You want to come with? Nolan said, nah, bro. I don't want to come with. Nah, I'm chilling. I'm like hanging out. Y'all go ahead, bro. But now y'all are telling us the last time y'all seen him was at 3 p.m. Y'all left at 4:30 p.m. So the story of, hey, we told Nolan, hey, bro, we about to go. Come with it. He said, nah. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. Because you didn't see him an hour and 30 minutes before you guys left. Didn't you guys go to the Horn Island to hang out together? Wasn't you, Nolan, and everybody hanging out together? Y'all didn't see somebody you guys was there to hang out with for an hour and 30 minutes?
And again, it goes back to, how did they get his damn phone? How did y'all get his phone? That's the biggest question that needs to be asked here. You know what I'm saying? Why do y'all have his phone and it's not with him? Why is somebody who is deceased not have their phone?
This doesn't make sense at all. The claim now that they told Nolan, hey, we're leaving, and he says, nah, that's out the window, because they said the last time they seen him was 3 p.m. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taken on water and they had an issue with the bitch pump. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. But how did he make this decision? Think about it for a second. How did Nolan make the decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends when the last time y'all seen Nolan was 3 p.m. and y'all left the island at 4:30 p.m.? Y'all left at 4:30. The last time y'all seen him was 3 p.m. Huh? That don't make sense. Y'all not saying, hey, bro, we about to leave, and then spend an hour and 30 minutes later. Like, are you crazy? You don't say, hey, we about to leave, and then spend another hour and 30 minutes while your boat is malfunctioning. That don't make sense at all. They continue, man. They says, yes, I am a judge. I also value transparency. I apologize if anyone was offended that I deleted my social media. Man, cut it out, man. She says, we live in a world of clickbaity. All right, man. Phil, listen, bro.
That don't got nothing to do with it.
If the story continues to change, it continues to change. It doesn't make, nothing here makes sense at all.
All of it is lies. They did it. That's why it keeps changing. Whenever you do something and you don't come out with the truth and you decide to make up a lie, you keep making up the lies as you go. While at the same time, the whole plan is unfoiling right in front of you. because it's hard to keep up a lie because you have to keep lying in order to add to the story. And then you forget the last lie that you made. So now the story starts getting convoluted. It's like, well, you just said such and such. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. I meant to say this. Well, then now that doesn't make sense because now that contradicts what you're saying now. So, yeah, they did that shit.
Yeah, my friend had an altercation. He goes missing. I don't bring that up to the police. I don't mention that. We told him, hey, bro, we about to leave, bro.
And we're taking your phone.
But then the last time y'all seen him was an hour and 30 minutes before you left. Huh? This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, bruh. Trust me. Oh, we're going to be on this case, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this, man. Y'all.
All right, that's going to be the end of the video. Shouts out to Poetic Flacco. I'll say this in closing because I've yapped enough on this video. We're at 45 minutes, so we got to wrap this up. I'll say this, and I don't know if this is going to offend anybody, but hey, if it offends you, then hey, you need to understand where I'm coming from and how I feel when I see something like this, when I see a young man like this lose his life out here with his friends because I'm somebody's son. I have a son and I'm a black man. My son is a black boy. My father's a black man. So do understand that a guy like me, I could care less about befriending people that don't look like me. Now, if you watch my videos and stuff like that, hey, you know, cool. But I'm not going to lose sleep if all of my viewers were African American and that's the only demographic of people I resonate with. Okay, cool. No shade. I'm not one of these people that's trying to, get, what's the word I'm looking for? Get approval from people that don't necessarily look like me. You know what I mean? Because all I have to do is just look at how the world is. Look at the state of the world right now. The world is in chaos. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, the universe can be chaotic. When you think about the planets and the stars and the asteroids and the comets, there's a lot of chaos being done in space. But just here on this planet, as a species, y'all got this place fucked up. So, no, I'm not really all that thrilled to, you know what I'm saying? No, because shit is effed up right now. And then, like I said, we still got this going on. There's so many other things that we need to be focusing on as a species, but instead we are still having this back and forth about color and all of this nonsense and things like that. Okay, well, look, we'll stay over here. Y'all stay over there. Like maybe, segregation might not be a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, black people, we need to have something to call our own. We don't have money with people that's on it that look like us. And I know people say, well, no, listen, visuals are everything. People don't notice because they don't study psychology and stuff like that, but I took psychology in college. When you have certain visuals put in front of you and you see people that look like you that are being depicted in a positive way, and you're seeing the creations and the evolution of your people and how they ascended and did all of these amazing things, think about what that does to you. That inspires you to do anything, be anything. When you look at black boys and girls today, they're not doing anything that's necessarily moving the needle. Not all, but the overwhelming majority of them think that, okay, I can be a rapper, or I could be a singer, I could be an athlete. And now everybody wants to be a streamer. Where are the people that want to be doctors, that want to be scientists and stuff like that? Where are they at? Why isn't that being pushed, for the likes of people that look like me? I'm going to tell you why, because they want us to constantly be about behind the 8 ball. We are the lab rats, and we're continuing to be treated like lab rats. Oh, the niggas, yeah, just give them some chicken wings. Okay, just put some beauty supply stores and some nail salons in their neighborhood. That's all they need. You know what I'm saying? They don't need nothing that's going to move their race of people forward. Just give them the bullshit. They'll be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically how we're treated. We are the lab rats in this country. So things have to change. But that's enough yapping for this video. If y'all made it this far, I appreciate you. Make sure you chin check the like button, sub to the channel, and be sure to sound off in them comments until y'all asses get kicked out. I'm expecting to see a lot of people comment on this video because this is a big topic right now. And yeah, we need to talk about this. We need to chop it up. So yeah, make sure y'all do that. It's your boy Robbie. Till the next video, we out.